Bet you didn't know, Cuba is a very safe destination. I'm Melanie Tucker, owner of Rare Finds Travel, and thank you very much for staying tuned to our conversations on Cuba. I created this 5-part video series to give you an idea of what it was like to travel to Cuba these days, and I hope it's opening your eyes to what's possible. The first video was all about legality. Yes, it's still legal to travel to Cuba in 2019, and I showed you how in the video. The second thing is food, and you would be amazed at the diversity of food and the amazing cuisine that you can have and the food experiences that you can have when you travel to Cuba. Video 3 was all about entrepreneurship. People are amazed that in a communist country that capitalism is so alive and well, and you would be so delighted to meet all of these enterprising, tenacious locals in Cuba. And the fact of the matter is, to travel in support of the Cuban people, which is your reason on your visa, it's the easiest way to do it. You just hire locals for your lodging and your dining and your driving and your touring. And now this video is all about safety, because people have a lot of concerns, it seems, about whether or not Cuba is going to be safe. So let me reassure you, Cuba is a very safe destination. Since I first went there in 2016, I have traveled solo. I've hosted my whole family for Christmas. I have traveled all through Old Town and also through Vedado, which is a leafy suburb, and Central, which is kind of a gritty suburb. I've been out on day trips to Pinar del Rios, out in the countryside, where they have cigar plantations. And then, you're not going to believe this, but I actually took a road trip, just me and another woman in a little black Peugeot, and we started here in Havana. We went down through the Bay of Pigs and Trinidad, and then all the way out to Cayo Coco, where Hemingway used to fish, and then down all the way to the middle of the country out to Santiago. And boy, did I learn a lot about the Cuban people and about their habits and about their spirit, and I'm going to tell you a few stories later on in this video. But for right now, the takeaway is that it's very safe. So that's my personal experience. But you might say, well, she was just lucky. So let me reassure you, there's actually an official policing organization called the Commission for the Defense of the Revolution, the CDR, and it patrols the streets. And that's why in Cuba there's no teenage delinquency, there's no gangs, there's no drugs, there's no danger zones. It truly is a safe environment. Of course, you don't want to let your guard down. You want to act the same way, conduct yourself the same way as you would do in any city, say here in the United States. You know, you want to keep your valuables deep in your pocket, and you don't want to flash around things, and you don't want to you don't want to be loose with your money or your valuables, but you might have situational awareness, what's around you. But these are typical things you would do if you were in San Francisco or LA or Chicago or New York. So I can tell you from personal experience, it's very safe. To illustrate just how safe it is, let me tell you a story about my road trip. So it was one morning I was in Trinidad, and I wanted to go down to the shore. So I was by myself in the car driving along, and I passed one of those little bus stop kiosks. And there was an older woman waiting there with her granddaughter, and I thought to myself, I have a whole empty car, they're waiting, they're going my way. So I backed up, and I have very little Spanish, they have no English, and so I kind of motioned, and they smiled, and they got in my car, and with some hand motions, we were on our way. And 12, 15 minutes later, I'm at their house. So I pull up in front of their house, and they were all smiling and being very grateful, but then they're like, stop. They wanted me to wait, and they ran off, and they came back a couple minutes later, and they had picked all of these mangoes off of their tree and put them in a bag for me so that I could have it as a gift, because they wanted to thank me. So what does that tell you about the spirit of the local people? They not only are not dangerous, but they're actually very appreciative, and they're really welcoming to Americans. That's a question I get a lot. People say, so are they hostile towards Americans? Are they angry? And you don't find that at all. A lot of times when travelers think about safety, they also think about access, like where are they allowed to go? And there seems to be this misperception that the government's going to follow you around and they're going to limit very narrowly what you can see. Like you can see this and this, but not anything else. And that's just not true. As long as you're traveling in support of the Cuban people, you can go anywhere you want, which, not to be redundant, means that you're not going to go for a day on the beach, right? We covered that. But think of all that you can do. You can go into the Museum of the Revolution. You can go into into art museums. You can go into the Cathedral of Havana or into the local synagogue. You can go into all kinds of shops. You can go into locals' homes. At Rare Finds Travel, we can actually get you into really exclusive spots, like we have a favorite video of mine called Behind the Padlock, where we actually get a padlock opened and get into a private artist studio where he works and where there's some of his art displayed and where you can actually pull art out of the drawers and people buy art to bring back home. It's a really special experience. And on your own, you're allowed to go exploring too. You can take a stroll right out of your casa in Old Town. That's one of the reasons we really encourage people to home base in Old Town, so you can step right out of your casa. You can people watch, you can get a helados and ice cream, you can listen to local music, you can find little like artist galleries, like where I bought this squid or fork. See, it's a fork. From a clever artist there in town. And all of this is perfectly legal and perfectly safe. So I hope that I have reassured you and encouraged you to embrace what's available down there in Cuba. It's such a welcoming place and there's so much, you can have such a good time. If you have any questions, you can feel free to email me at melanie@rarefindstravel.com, and then stay tuned for video 5, because bet you didn't know, Cuba doesn't have to be expensive. You're gonna find out soon.